Really local. No, I.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure, just like me, many of you also must be remembering 26th October 2018. That was the day when a mom here, Ashwini, Bhide, she came and kind of mesmerized all of us by this very, very prestigious, very, very ambitious project, which probably the country has never seen, namely Metro 3. Okay, and many of us, it has become like a folklore. Many times we keep talking, we keep discussing, keep saying that, how great that lecture was, and we were looking for part two of it. Nowadays, it is a age of, the second parts of movies, but today we'll probably see much more than that because she added something more to that. Okay, it is not just only Metro 3, but also on the other ambitious project called Coastal Road. So with these words, let me now invite Ms. Ashwini Bhide on the stage, please. I also request Professor Swarup Chaudhary, the Dean of PIFR, also to come out this stage. And I also request Professor Indranil Mazumdar, the Dean Infrastructure of TIFR, also to come on stage, please. I now request Srirup formally invite today's speaker at his own words of welcome on behalf of the Institute. But before that, of course, he will welcome us Bhide with flowers. May I also request Indranil on behalf of TIFR, to give her a memento. And I will talk about the importance of this memento a little later, but to make the formality short, I'm requesting Indranil to give away this memento, which is Asset at 40 celebrations. Thank you. Over to Srirup.
So good afternoon, everyone. Our director is not here today, and on his behalf and on behalf of TIFR, it's a real pleasure to welcome Ms. Ashwini Bhide, who is, as you can read, the Additional Municipal Commissioner of the BMC and also the Managing Director of the MMRC. But apart from that, she is a person who has been almost single-handedly responsible for changing the landscape of Mumbai over the last many years. I just found out over the last 20 years. And there are many of things which she has participated in, which have made our life in Mumbai much, much easier, and which will make them more easier in the days to come. So I will not keep you from hearing her own words. So I would like you to once again put your hands together and welcome Ms. Bhide very heartily.
Thanks, Srirup. Thanks also, Indranil. As Srirup mentioned, I don't think it really requires introduction to Ms. Bhide. In fact, if you Google it, you'll find pages, maybe reams of her introduction. And I now have this very tough task of trying to formally introduce her for those of you who happen to be coming into this for the first time. Ms. Ashwini Bhide, of course, is an IAS officer from the back of 1995 Maharashtra cadre. And in fact, she was the topper among the women candidates in that year. She is a postgraduate in English literature from Pune University. And Bhide has held some of the most ambitious and complex mega urban infrastructure projects in the city. In case you thought it is only kind of, Metro 3, you will be kind of see what is the spectrum of our project. Coastal Road project as AMC of BMC, Mumbai Metro 3 as MD of MMRC, Eastern Freeway, the elevated road to International Airport, several flyovers on major arterial roads, and rail over bridge, including Milan Rail Road Bridge, as well as the first phase of Mumbai monorail, which I'm sure many of you know, in our stint as MMRDA. As additional municipal commissioner of BMC, she is now spearheading the Coastal Road project from Princess Street flyover to all the way to Bandra Worli Sea Link, which is one of the most prestigious, ambitious infrastructure projects of the state government. Additionally, she also heads departments, large number of departments, such as information technology, fire brigade, rescue operations, education, gardens, zoo, heritage cell, building construction and maintenance, and so many. She has been driving several IT initiatives as BMC in recent years, and many of you, I'm sure, will remember very, very well. She was also the head of BMC's COVID-19 response war room. It has been a big news, in fact, during those days, the way it could perform and the kind of precision with which it could perform and the speed at which it could make things happen. Where several digital initiatives were rapidly implemented, including the daily dashboards, which were recognized as national as well as international level. She's also spearheaded creation of several Miyawaki-style urban dense forest across Mumbai. Now, in a long career over 25 plus years, Ms. Bhide has held several key positions such as CEO of Zilla Parishad, Additional Divisional Commissioner, Joint Secretary to the Governor of Maharashtra, Additional Metropolitan Commissioner of MMRD, Secretary in School Education and Sports, and MD of MMRC, and to name a few. She now, of course, also holds additional responsibility as the Managing Director of Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation, which is joint venture between Government of India, Government of Maharashtra. And I'm not going to kind of go into the details of this project. I'm sure she is going to kind of say and elaborate at large. And she has been largely instrumental in getting various challenges hampering this project addressed in an expeditious manner, which I remember she had detailed so well in our last lecture with her leadership and coordination skills. The project, in fact, is scheduled now to be completed in the year 23-24. So Mahal can look forward to traveling effortlessly almost from TIFR to airport and beyond when the Metro 3 comes. With those few words now, I would like to welcome Ms. Bhide for her colloquium. Thank you very much. Thanks, all of you.
This is fine. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. And I always love to be in this premier research university of India and this terrific campus which you have. I was here, as was told by Dr. Satyanarayan, that I was here in October 2018. And then even during COVID, when I was working and heading COVID war room of BMC, that time we were working very closely with TIFR. They helped us in predictive analysis of the cases, and which basically gave us some guidance in formulating policies, which was a dynamic and continuous process. So that time also I got a chance to come here for a discussion. And again, this is my third visit. And it is a real pleasure and privilege to be here on this campus amongst all of you. Just to take forward what I had spoken last time, many of you must have been there at that point of time. So we were mainly talking about how to implement a mega infrastructure project and what exactly Metro Line 3 is and how it is going to change the commuting in the city. So now it is almost 4 years since then, and I'm here, and many of you would like to know the updates of this project. But at the same time, I thought, let me also throw some light on another mega infrastructure project which is happening in Mumbai. And again, I'm privileged enough to lead the same, which is Mumbai Coastal Road Phase 1, or the south section of Coastal Road, I would say. So of late, in last 7-8 years, you can see a lot of mega projects which are coming up in Mumbai. So be it Coastal Road, be it the entire metro network, a corridor like Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link. So earlier we were okay with whatever road infrastructure and suburban rail system which we had, but that there are certain restrictions on further expansion, further progress of this city with this limited infrastructure. But executing this project in a city like Mumbai has also always been very challenging, and it was always a thought that, okay, why to disturb the current fabric, the current pace and the tone of the city and do something new, which we don't know how much time it will take. So all this is just a flint of our imagination. We can talk about being Mumbai becoming Shanghai, but whether it is really possible, that used to be the doubt in everybody's mind when we started working on these projects. But now, after so many years, we can actually see that these projects can happen, they could happen, then they're really bringing a big change in Mumbai. And that is why I have titled this today's talk as Achieving Ease of Travel Through Mega Infrastructure Projects. Yes, implementing these projects is very challenging. It really impacts people's life. They have to sacrifice some of their comforts during construction. But mind you that these projects are going to be there for 100, 150 years because they are designed for that kind of life. And that is why they are definitely have the potential to change lives of our own and the future generations as well. So today's trouble is really going to help us in changing the face of Mumbai, changing how Mumbai is going to commute and what kind of economic activity is going to lead to. So I would once again, I thank Director Dr. Satyanarayan and all the faculty members and for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity to present this to you. So I would start with Coastal Road and then I'll give you updates on what exactly is happening to Mumbai Metro Line 3. So this is the overall outline for today's presentation for Coastal Road, where exactly it is, why we need Coastal Road, what are the features of this Coastal Road, then how execution is being done and when exactly it is going to complete, because everybody is worried about that. When such huge mega projects are there, then people think whether government has the capacity to really implement them and see them through till the end. So this is where this project is actually, this whole project is called Mumbai Coastal Road Project, but it is divided into two parts. This is the south phase, which is being implemented by Mumbai Municipal Corporation. And this is the north phase, which is being implemented by Mumbai MSRDC, that is the State Road Development Corporation. So I'll mainly talk about this and what exactly is happening here. So this is from the Princess Street flyover up to the southern end of Bandra Worli Sea Link. This is the overall scope of Coastal Road. It starts from on Marine Drive at this Princess Street flyover, goes beneath Girgaon Chowpatty because there is a tunnel here. It comes out here, then from Amarsan's garden, and then it moves like this. So this is all, I'll explain how this is being built. These are 3 interchanges where you can come out, go in different directions. If you want to reverse, take reverse direction, that also you can do. So why do we need this project? We all know about the traffic congestion. Mumbai is one of the densest metropolises in the world, and it is so congested and it is gasping for the land because it has sea around 3 sides, and there is, because of the linear nature of this city, because of the coastal nature of this city, it has serious legal as well as geographical restrictions on expansion. And that is why, because of it being a narrow linear shaped, our road network is very limited. If you compare it to Delhi's road network, we have only 10% of Delhi's road network in Mumbai. Delhi has almost 28,000 kilometers of road. We have 2,050 kilometers. And however much we add with elevated roads, that number doesn't go beyond 2,100. It can't go beyond that. So we need more road network basically to evacuate traffic to smoothen traffic, to have a seamless connectivity. And on the existing road, widening has certain limitations because we have, because of the paucity of space, there are too many claimants on the existing roads, and that is why widening becomes difficult. It creates a lot of social issues also. There are many utilities underneath the road because it is the same right of way for everyone. So there are around 25, 27 utilities under every road. So how to deal with them? Then Mumbai also has this problem of flooding. It is saucer shaped in many areas. The water gets accumulated, and when it floods, that time the problem is of evacuation. What kind of alternative routes people can take? Because the railway tracks also get flooded, the roads also get flooded. So for that also we need to have a sea coastal road which can take people out of the flood situation. The traffic also needs to be eased, improving time and fuel efficiency, because most of the roads get choked, and basically it compromises fuel efficiency. It adds to the pollution in the city. Then road accidents also are is an issue, and intercity connectivity is an issue. So coastal road is a road which basically is a completely new road. It is not by expanding the existing road network, but it is adding, because even when we talk about elevated roads, they take the same right of way. So you don't find much difference in achieving additional connectivity, whereas coastal road is completely goes out of the city, outside the city, and still connects to the important or critical locations in the city. And that is the importance of coastal road. What exactly is coastal road going to achieve? So if you look at only this line, this is a 10-kilometer long coastal road. Not in terms of length, it is not much, but it is going to save almost 70% of your commuting time, because today from reaching from Marine Drive to Worli, it takes almost 45 to 50 minutes. Here on this road, you can go in 8 to 10 minutes. You can have the average speed of 80 km per hour against the speed of abysmal speed of 21 kilometers per hour. It will relieve traffic on the existing road network to a substantial extent, and there would be dedicated bus lines. So it would be available. Public transport, if equally efficient public transport would also be available there, on account of which there will be substantial saving in fuel consumption, and of course in the CO2 release per annum. And improved connectivity between southern and northern parts of Mumbai will provide better accessibility, because today what happens, South Mumbai has all the heritage area. It has so many other centers where people would love to come, but they can't because of the travel time or the commuting time they take. So this would ease, the coastal road would ease that commuting. It will also have some additional features, because since we are building this road on a reclaimed land, that reclaimed land also gives us an opportunity to have a garden worth 70 hectares wide. So basically it is like having 13 Wankhede stadiums in the enclosed vicinity. It is that big. And there will be, and the court has specifically directed that it is to be, that land is to be maintained as gardens or recreational space. And that is why all features of, and that is being very meticulously planned in a very professional way. Then there will be the way the coastal road is constructed, the seawall is constructed. There is a use of rock boulders, armored rocks, which are very eco-friendly construction material that will help growth of marine fauna. And we can see it today also during construction. So wherever the seawall is completed, you can see different sea creatures. Actually, they are colonizing there. So plus these sea walls will provide protection for from the this flood erosion or coastal erosion point of view. It will provide like a embankment against storms, surges and floods. There will be easy transportation, of course, even for the goods traffic also. It will be a good kind of connectivity, and it would of course generate employment and hugely impact and boost the economy of the city. So these are the overall cost and deliverables. This is a project costing almost 12,721 crore rupees. The actual construction cost is roughly 8,500 crores, and the rest are the allied costs. If you look at the construction features of this project, the road length is 10.58 kilometers. But if you see the three interchanges which are there, their length is 15.66 kilometer because there are different arms in each interchange. This 10.58 kilometers road, out of which 4.35 is on reclaimed land. There are 2.19 kilometers of bridges, and there are 2 tunnels of 2 kilometer length. So, and these are huge tunnel. I think we have used the largest diameter tunnel boring machine for this project, which I'll show you in my later slides. Then this will be a road of 4 into 4 lanes, so 8-lane road. In tunnels, there will be six lanes. Overall carriageway width is 17 meters, which is very wide, with tunnel 9.6 meter wide. Median also 11 meters. So all these areas would provide us spaces for more green areas actually. And there would be a promenade of 20 meters. So apart from, we have a promenade at Marine Drive today and some promenade at Worli. But this is going to give us a continuous promenade of 8 kilometers from Priyadarshini Park up to Bandra Worli Sea Link. Apart from what we have, and the existing Worli promenade will also remain as it is. We have Marine Drive intact, and in addition to that, this will be a 20-meter wide promenade, which gives us a lot of opportunities to create open spaces for people. There will again be some green features, cycle tracks, so many other facilities on those promenades also. So it gives us a 70 hectares of such virgin land, which we can plan the way we want for giving additional green space to the city. And the external tunnel diameter is 12.19 meters, internal is 11 meters. For this project, we had to reclaim almost 111 hectares of land. Out of that, 40 hectares would be used purely for the road. The remaining 70 hectares, which we had to reclaim that because you can't have the exact parallel road to the existing road because of the contours, because of the way this coastline is. So to meet the IRC standards of road and take care of the curves and turns, we had to reclaim additional land, and that additional land is getting converted into gardens. There will also be 4 parking lots, which could underground parking lots, which could give space for 800 car parking. There would be bus bays, vehicular underpass, because from the main road, the existing road, people need to reach to promenades. So for that, there are multiple pedestrian underpasses are provided so that people can reach there, and there are other facilities like police chowki, etc. So these are some highlights of the project, some of which I have mentioned. We have used India's largest TBM, largest diameter TBM for this project. First time in India, we are using Sacado ventilation system. This is a system where air jet is basically introduced in tunnel through some nozzles, and that imparts most of its momentum to the tunnel air. And this is how the air ventilation is taken care of. We are also using monopile foundation for the first time in India, because normally pillars are cast on, the foundation is made with group of piles. But here the marine piles, instead of group of piles, to avoid, to reduce the time, to enhance the safety of construction, we have gone for these monopile foundations, which are used elsewhere in the world, but they were not in our, even the building codes also, the monopile were not there. So with the help of IIT, we carried out a study, and then we introduced this once the project work started. So this is also a new thing which is happening. Then it's a multiple complexities and variety in a single project, as I have mentioned, the road on reclamation, bridges, interchanges, tunnels, etc., etc. Some part of the tunnel even goes under sea. And then the projected traffic of average 45,000 PCUs per day in each direction. So that is how we calculate how much reduction in the pollution would happen, because if these many vehicles travel on this road, there will be less pollution because it will be a hindrance free and travel at optimum speed. Now, how this project is being done? So we'll show you some features. So the project is divided into 3 packages. So starting from south side, from Priyadarshini Park. So this is package 4, we call it. Is 4.5 kilometer long. It is from Princess Street flyover to Priyadarshini Park. It has tunnel, some cut and cover portion, because the TBM, when it comes out, we have to slowly bring it on ground. So for that, some portion becomes cut and cover, and then there is ramp, and then the tunnel has ground access. Then second package is Priyadarshini Park to Baroda Palace. This is about 3.80 kilometer long. This is a complete road on reclamation, and there are bridges and interchanges. And package 2, what we call is 2.71 kilometer long. It is Baroda Palace to Worli end of Bandra Worli ceiling. This is also full road on reclamation, and there are bridges. So these packages are being implemented by different agencies. 2 packages are with L&T, and they are assisted by 2 project management consultants, as I have mentioned there, Yushin Engineering for package 4, Louis Berger for package 1. And package 2 is with HCC, HDC JV, Hindustan Construction Company, and the project management consultants are Aegis India and their partners from UK. And on top of it, we have a general consultant, which is ACOM Asia, because it's a very complex project. So even it is a design build project, the designs need to be proof checked and given approval to construction methodologies, usage of different material. So because when you conceive the project, you have thought of something, but in the process of construction, many new things come up. So they need to be assessed. So for that, we have these general consultants with us, and we have our own team of engineers led by our DMC for this project, Deputy Municipal Commissioner, and there is Chief Engineer and some officers below him. So I'm just going to present. So these are different features, and I'll give you a pictorial presentation of how exactly these are coming up. So we have reclamation, we have sea walls, we have promenade, casting yards, the cut and cover section of tunnel, then how the TBM functions, then tunnels, utility boxes. In the tunnel itself, we are doing a utility box, and even the roads will have utility boxes, so that later on, no road needs to be cut for or disturbed for the utility arrangements. Then there are pedestrian underpasses, ramps, monopiles, launching girders, bridges, interchanges. So these are various features of these projects, and how the future green spaces are going to look like. I mean, that is just a thematic presentation, but it will be what we are going to make will be some quite closer to that. So this is just a pictorial presentation. So there will be a few slides on presentations only. So this is how the reclamation is happening. These are reclamation pictures. So this whole land, everything is reclaimed actually. Then this is where the underground car park would come. So that feature is shown. So this is in near Nepean Sea Road. Yeah. So here you can see this is behind, I think this is also Nepean Sea Road. This is towards Bandra Worli ceiling, parallel to our Worli sea face. So this is how the sea wall is constructed, because this is a very important feature, as I said, and this protects not only the coastal road but even the entire coastline. And this is done in such a way that the marine life is not only saved, but it can thrive because of the material which is being used for that. So we have these different layers of different types of materials, the filter layer, then the core, then rock armor. So this rock armor is armor rock is very important. It is produced from certain quarries, and it needs to be shaped in a particular way, and that is transported here, and then it is laid in a particular way, and then on top of it we have crown wall. So this is how for the entire coastline the sea wall is constructed. And you can see in the picture how this is a completed sea wall. And in some sections we can even see these are either underpasses, the pedestrian underpasses, or some of them are the drains. Then this is a drain, so which I will again refer to in my later slides. So this is a sea line, sea wall. So after seawall, here there will be promenade, and beyond that there will be the road or interchange portion. So this is how the seawall is constructed, and the crown wall, here you can see the crown wall. Now this is on Marine Drive. So Marine Drive, about 1 kilometer stretch is such where we come out of the tunnel and the actual access road to tunnel starts. So there we have to use the existing promenade of Marine Drive that gets converted into road. So beyond that, the new promenade for 1 kilometer is being constructed. It is like on stilts, but for people there won't be much difference. It will be at the same level. It will be constructed in the same manner, and the continuity will be maintained. These are casting yards. Now the advantage of this project vis-a-vis what we faced in metro is, in metro we were there was so much of requirement of land, but we were not able to have the land. But some advantages which we had for this project, that we reclaimed so much of land that some of that land we could use for construction activity. So whatever casting yards which were required, the RMC plans which were required for this project, in Metro Line 3 they were all outside the city, and from there we had to transport everything and then plan the transport of, and the sequence also needed to be fit into our timeline. But here that advantage was there. So on many of these are reclaimed land, we have these either casting yards or the concrete plants. You can see. So this, but the segments are needed for lining of the tunnel, and some of these girders are required for and segments are required for interchange bridges. So everything was cast and constructed and produced here. So our traveling time and transfer of these girders, the time required for that was substantially reduced. So these are the segments which are needed for interchange bridges and the main bridge also. And some of them are these are the segments which are needed for tunnel lining. So when the tunnel TBM works, it drills that rock. So that rock needs to be lined with this kind of concrete lining, and they are fed to the machine, and through the tunnel boring machine that lining comes up. So this is how we work in the casting yards. There are different molds, and the advantage is because it is within your reach. So inspection could happen on time. The concrete is also prepared there, made there. So the consistency of concrete could be easily monitored. So all this that was possible because we had land in the vicinity because of this reclamation. So this is again the casting yard. So this is just a rendering. This is not the actual picture, but it is shown to basically to indicate that how when the tunnel comes is beneath here, when it comes out, slowly it starts climbing up, and then that portion we had to cut and cover because the machine can't go. Machine has to be at certain depth. Now how it will come out? So to because the tunnel has to have access from the ground. So for that portion, we have to cut open the top portion, go down, and then again build that tunnel. So that is the cut and cover part. And further, this is the ramp portion from where the vehicles would come out. So this is very close to ground, and there is a slope, and slowly it reaches the ground level. So that part is covered with this kind of roof. So this ramp, the cut and cover portion is being done. This is on Marine Drive, where the TBM is somewhere here. Our TBM, this is rather our launch shaft or retrieval shaft. So machine is here. Here the depth is almost 20 meters, 25 meters, and from there now we have to come up. So for that, this portion is being done by using cut and cover method. So we cut, these are the trusses which support the ground. Once we complete the side walls and the road beneath, then this whole area is filled and the top slab is cast. This is that launching shaft site from where the machine was. In fact, in this project, we launched the machine from Priyadarshini Park side, and then it was brought here. The whole idea was from here. Once it comes here, this was a retrieval shaft. Take out the machine, go back to Priyadarshini Park, and then again start tunneling for the other tunnel. But instead, our contractors, consultants, and our team use some different methodology. They used a turntable, and this is a huge machine, as I have told you. They turned the machine from here, and we started the tunneling from this side. So we didn't have to take out the machine. Now the machine will come up only at Priyadarshini Park, and which is just 100 meters away now. So maybe another month's time we'll finish our tunneling. So this is how the working happens. This is a cut and cover section. This is the actual completed cut and cover section. If you can see, it is towards Priyadarshini Park side, the one tunnel which is completed. These are the ramps. So you can see the slope here. So slowly the vehicle starts coming up, and then it merges with the normal level of the road. So this is about tunneling. This is the tunnel boring machine. Here we had only in Metro 3, we had 17 tunnel boring machine, but of smaller size. The diameter was 5.6 meters. Here it is more than 12 meters. And this is the cutter head, which was lowered in the Priyadarshini Park launch shaft. So you can see the size and the magnitude of this project from these pictures. This is the machine. It was titled as Maula. So this is the whole machine. So this is the machine has already gone inside. These are the front shields, and then we have many gantries behind, which feed the machine with concrete, these segments, then take out the muck, give ventilation, and so many other chemicals which are required for construction. This was our breakthrough when we got the machine out from for first tunnel. And then it was shifted here only, and the second tunnel was started. So this is how inside the tunnel, this is a utility box. The actual width would be like this. And then there will be the signage boards and ventilation fans, everything would be there in this. So this is a completed tunnel. This is the utility box. Then there we have to do this pedestrian underpasses also. So that construction is going on. Once they are completed, then that area will also be filled, and the road will be constructed on top of it. Then there are many stormwater drain boxes also. They are there because you have to cross everything. You have to take. Right now they are terminating at the today's coastline, but we are extending the coastline. We have filled the area ahead of that. So those stormwater drains need to be taken out towards sea beneath the road, and that needs to be planned right now because later on we won't get a chance to do that. So here you can see for for Haji Ali, we need a pedestrian because this area there's going to be a level difference. So this is a pedestrian underpass, which will take from the main road. This will take people to Haji Ali Dargah, and this whole area apart from road, there will be a lot of green spaces here. So with people can even walk from here and go up to Mahalakshmi Temple, and from the back they can access Mahalakshmi Temple. Today that access is quite complicated from the other side. So these are the RCD machines for monopile. So this is how the monopiles are done. These are some construction machinery. This is launching girder, which basically used to launch girders and segments for bridge construction. So this is another launching girder. You can see they are lifting the segment from here, and this is how they launch this segment and then stress it. So this is how the bridge portion is constructed. So we have these pillars on monopiles. These are all temporary structures. So now this launching gantry would bring some segments from here, but some of the spans will be constructed in situ. So for that you need a lot of support. So these are temporary structures erected, and they construct the bridge. With the help of that, the bridge is constructed. Now this is those interchanges which I had shown. So these are different arms. At Haji Ali, we have a 8-arm interchange. So you can go in different directions, what you see in foreign countries. So these different arms are under construction. At Worli, there is a 6-arm interchange. At Amarsan's Garden, there is a 4-arm interchange. So people can go in multiple directions and they can take a reverse direction also. So this is Love Ground Nala at Worli, opposite Atrium Mall. And here we have to give space because some BMC, some I think sanitation activity also happens here. Treatment plant is there, and that water is flown from here. So we have to give adequate space, but while we have to maintain the continuity. So we have these bridges, but in addition to that, initially promenade was not planned here. So promenade was getting cut, and then again people had to walk, go to Worli to reach the promenade. So we later on the promenade was added here. So now there are, so this was also constructed, and if you see now this promenade is complete. So there are two right of ways for road, and this is the promenade part where pedestrians can access and go. So this is how it looks, and now this portion is clear. So water flow is intact. But when we were constructing it in last monsoon and before that, we had to, because during construction some filling was required to be done here. But during monsoon we had to remove it temporarily, allow the water flow to continue, and then post monsoon we could complete these sections. So this is towards Bandra Worli ceiling, because this is the main bridge. This is it is in the open sea, and that's why it has certain specific requirement. The design challenges are there. So this is under construction right now. This is part of the interchange at Worli, and this is one arm, and then it will go circular, take a circular turn here, if you can see. So this is how that interchange is shaping up. Here the work is happening because finally they have to connect up to here, that bridge portion. So right now this one foundation is done, but then this machine will move further, and the next foundations will be made. So key interchanges is also a very important feature of this project. So it would ultimately look like this. This is towards Worli. This is Amarsan's, and this is Haji Ali. And that is what it is under construction right now. So this is Haji Ali. You can see this is the main bridge, and the whole interchange is shaping up here. So you can see how it is being constructed. This part of the interchange. And we can very well see all these interchange arms coming up and progressing daily if you travel near Haji Ali or Worli. So this is the temporary staging, because the casting is happening in situ. Some of them are precast segments which are brought and done, but just to expedite the whole work, contractor has adopted a mixture of methodology. So there are some in situ castings and there are precast structures. So here you can see how the interchange is coming up. This also gives you a fair idea of how it is coming up. So basically this interchange will make people can come down, go in different direction. They can go back, they can take the existing route, adjacent route. But those who want to go ahead, this portion, this bridge will be there. So they can, there will be a connectivity here and people can continue traveling on coastal road. And then there will be what kind of green spaces which will come. So this is just a rendering or some indication of the green spaces. But all this is possible because this is what it is meant for. We have already the ACOM Asia, which is our general consultants. They are consulting us on how to make these green spaces possible and more beautiful, more convenient and people friendly. And once they prepare the basic designs, then we will tender out and get proper firms who can actually make them a reality. Now, this is a huge construction activity. How we did that? What kind of rigor we had to follow? So there were many rigorous studies and efforts. Multiple studies were taken up before the project was actually went from drawing board to actual ground. Some studies were undertaken before the project started, some undertaken while the work was ongoing. Then there were multiple approvals and no objections were required from different authorities. Then we had to consider the requirement for conservation of aquatic ecosystem, which is there, which was temporarily getting disturbed because of the project. Then we had to take care of the existing stormwater drain management because that should not get disturbed. In fact, it should improve, it should enhance. Then environmental measures and compliances and a lot of inclusive. There was a social aspect, though not in Metro 3, where we were traversing through in the middle of the city. Many people got disturbed, many families got disturbed. We had to rehabilitate them. That component is less in this project. However, still there was the social aspect because of the fisherman community which was getting disturbed. So how did we tackle that? I'll just throw some light on it. So these were different studies we carried out: inception report, feasibility report, then detailed project report, which contains, there are almost 11 chapters, and all those studies were carried out. Then we had to study on, conduct studies on extreme waves, extreme water levels, storm surge, tsunami height, coastal morphology for coastal road project by National Institute of Oceanography, Goa. Sometimes people feel that we are doing this project really, they are doing in a safe way, whether it is going to create some additional problem to the city. But no, all these projects are planned in a very meticulous way. A lot of discipline is followed before we actually start executing these projects, and that is why various studies are undertaken. And even during construction also, if some problem is there or some problem is faced or anticipated, then those studies are undertaken, and then that issue is logically concluded, and then only we move ahead. Then studies were undertaken during ongoing works also, because there was a study by Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute, Warsaw. Basically, is a baseline study of impact of coastal road on fisheries and their fishermen and their livelihood. Then NIO also undertook Marine Biodiversity Conservation Plan for Mumbai Coastal Road. Various impacts of coastal road on waves, water levels, etc., etc. Then in the initial study, we had not found any coral colonies in the vicinity. But when we actually started working, we found them. So we had to undertake this coral translocation report. NIO was involved. They gave us a plan. And in a very systematic way, the corals were translocated at some other place where they are thriving now. But it was to be done in a very systematic way. Then we have also carried out through Forest Department a pilot study for installation and monitoring of artificial reefs for biology enhancement along the seawall, because seawall has provided us some opportunity. So that is also going on. These were different 19 types of different approvals and no objection certificates we had to obtain. I don't read the whole list. You can just have a look at it. But again, this is the rigor. This is what is needed for a project. So projects are undertaken in a very meticulous way. Many a time people go to court saying that this is done in a very mindless way and they don't know what impact is going to have. But it is not like that. Everything is accounted for. So this is the conservation of aquatic ecosystem. So we found 2 areas where there were coral colonies. One near Worli, in Worli region, there were 18 colonies of corals. Area was very small, 0.251 square meters. But still they need to be, because that's a, that is an asset. So that needs to be properly relocated. So they are translocated to Worli only, but 130 meters away from the project activity area. The another coral set was found in Haji Ali area, which was just 0.11 square meters. They were translocated successfully in intertidal region in Nevinagar, Kolaba. It is close by here. And this translocation of corals have been executed by experts of NIO, National Institute of Oceanography. And of course, our forest department and mangrove cell helped them. And they are all thriving. They are not only they have survived, but they have further grown. Then stormwater drain, because that was another worry. We used to get a lot of complaints that because of coastal road, you could see newspaper headlines also, flooding has occurred because of the coastal road work. So it's not like that, because we have that everything is studied. Whatever are the water channels which today are throwing water out of the city. So those water channels are not only kept intact, but actually their capacity is augmented to suit that Brimstone report or whatever BMC is following as per the future requirement. So originally there were 7 box drains, 3 pipe drains, 11 open channels. So all these existing SWD outlets, in fact, today they were, because of the tetrapods at some locations and other facilities, they were clogged. But now, when we had an opportunity to reconstruct them, we have done it in such a way that they are not clogged, but they are actually, they could be used in a more efficient way. So all SWD outlets are now opened clearly. These outlets are extended independently beneath the road up to the sea along the alignment and through box culverts. Most of the places, and their capacity is augmented, and there are with well-designed hydraulically operated sluice gates. In fact, today only we commissioned 1 sluice gate in package 1. So these things are happening, and this is how it was planned, and it is exactly implemented the way it has been planned. Then there were some other environmental issues. Some trees were required to be cut, 130 trees. To 331 trees were to be transplanted. Some new trees were to be planted. Everything has been done. In addition to that, this was everybody's concern that how can Mumbai city, somebody is predicting that the sea levels are going to go high and city itself is going to drown, then why are we having coastal road? So for that, there was a very rigorous examination of this whole project by Ministry of Environment and Forest. And as part of their approval, they asked us to deposit some 175 crore rupees for mangrove sales, so that they can, the marine ecosystem, they can improve, which that also we have done. Every 6 months, the audit takes place. We have to comply a lot of things, and as per our CRZ approval, and that is being done in a very professional way. Then a lot of environmental measures and compliances are done in the project. Use of GGBS instead of complete concrete. So this material is used, which is again an eco-friendly material. Water recycling is done substantially. All LED use of LED lights, bio toilets, translucent sheets. So even during construction, we have less impact on environment. That is how the project is planned and structured. Then every activity, like all the RMC plants, casting yards, grout plants, they are covered. So you don't see, don't even realize that this much of activity is going inside. Then mist fogging machines are used to settle, make the dust settle. Then there are a lot of digital initiatives. Noise barriers are placed wherever required, wherever the buildings are closer. Even during segment casting, the noise enclosures are put. Marine biodiversity is maintained, environmental monitoring is very carefully done, and so many other structural features are used to ensure that environment is conserved and protected. Plus, this is one slide which is the social aspect of this project. When the fishermen thought that during construction also their livelihood is getting impacted, and after construction also they felt that the span which we have given, 3 spans of 60 meters near their Worli Kolivada, from where their boats go for fishing, they thought that these spans are not adequate. While as per our calculation, as per all the professional agencies calculation, looking at the size of their boats, these spans were of adequate size. Nevertheless, they had that perception that no, if there is it's an open sea, if the wind activity is more, then these boats might get disturbed by the pillars. So there finally government, lot of deliberation happened. We tried to convince them. When it didn't work out, government took a decision to enhance that span from 60 meter to 120 meter. So this was a accommodative or inclusive way of construction. In addition to that, we appointed Tata Institute of Social Sciences to calculate how much loss of compensation they will have during construction and later on also. So that has been calculated, that report is accepted, and soon we will be actually putting their compensation amount in their bank accounts. So this is the social side, or how socially sensitive way is adopted to implement these kinds of projects, just to indicate that. And now Now the last question, when exactly is going to happen? So today, if you look at the different features, we have achieved almost 97% reclamation, 77% seawall, piles are almost done, piers are close to 74%, monopiles are also 80% done. One tunnel is fully done, other is around 93%, just 100 meters are remaining, which are now beneath water, beneath sea. So that work is slowly happening. So in another month's time, that tunnel will also be through. So this is the original scheduled completion, November 23. Physical work done so far is 72.14%, financial progress is 66%, and tunnel boring is 3.99 kilometers achieved. And all these works are in progress, and we are trying our best to complete this project by end of this year, except that connectivity to Varnavarli sea link, where the span change decision has recently happened. So that will take only that part 6 months ahead of the existing timeline. But this project is, despite COVID, despite all litigations, despite stay orders issued by court orders, we have salvaged this project, and in a very reasonable time, a lot of work has happened, and we are all geared up to complete it on time and make it available to Mumbaikars in near future. So this is all about Coastal Road. I thought this would be of interest to you. So this is a complex engineering project, but its complexities are different, unlike the ones which are there in Metro 3 project. So I will take a pause here as far as Coastal Road is concerned. And if everybody is okay, then I'll just update you on what is happening on Mumbai Metro Line 3, because a detailed presentation was given 4 years back. The issues are discussed. I'll just give a quick overview of what it was, and now give mainly a pictorial presentation of where exactly the project is today. So last time our obviously train design was not final, but so this is just to give an overview of, this is the metro network which is planned and under implementation in entire Mumbai metropolitan region. Not only Greater Mumbai, but the rest of the region also. And now there are almost 14 corridors which are planned, and almost all of them are now at some or the other stage of execution. So this total length of this network is 357 kilometers, which is very comprehensive, because it is going into many such areas which are today not on the map of suburban railway system. And so far, with the commissioning of 2 elevated lines in the suburbs, line 2A and 7, now our operational length is almost 66.4 kilometers. So these are 2 metro corridors, the line 1 which is already there, and monorail phase 1 and 2. 144 kilometers, including Metro Line 3, are under execution, and they will be commissioned in a planned way from this year onwards. And almost 164 kilometers are under planning. So they are either at DPR stage, or tendering process, or land acquisition, or finding out land for depot at that stage. Now, Metro Line 3, some of you must be recollecting, this is a 33.5 kilometer long, fully underground corridor with 27 stations. 26 stations are underground, and 1 depot station is at grade. The original completion cost as of 2011 was 23,136 crores, but that cost is enhanced now. It has almost reached to 37,000 crores. And additional loan is being negotiated with JICA for that. The economic IRR, because these projects are not financially viable if you look at their financial IRR, but if you look at the overall benefit to economy, they are very high on IRR, that is 17.93%. With revised DPR and the latest fare structure, our financial IRR was also improved, which is 4.20%. Our plan to commission this project, phase 1 from RA to BKC in this December, and BKC to Kolaba in June 24. So there is a delay of about 2.5 years for this project. Originally, we were to commission it to 2021, but many things happened, including COVID, and that is why. But still, it is not far away. It is very much in our reach. Once commissioned, it will start with 13 lakh passengers per day. In 2031, The ridership will be 17 lakh passengers one day. It is one of the highest in India. And 2055, when everything, all trains would come, it will be 31 lakh per day. And the frequency designed for 90 seconds, but practically on ground, for various reasons, it is not possible. So we'll start with 175 seconds frequency, but ultimately it will reach to 120 seconds frequency. So these were multiple challenges. I think I had dealt on that in detail earlier. The very complex geology, a lot of underground utilities, very difficult traffic management, because we have to construct stations below roads, while the traffic, we have to keep the traffic on. So we had to construct a lot of steel lakes for that. Land acquisition was a very complex process. Rehabilitation of affected families, almost more than 2,000 slum PAPs were to be rehabilitated. 650 plus 6 to 700 families of tenants living in Girgaon Kalbadevi area were to be rehabilitated. So all those, this was a very complex process, where we had to actually start from the scratch, because there were no ready-made solutions. Only some guidelines were there, and we had to find out solutions. Multiple approvals and permissions, congested work areas, safety of construction sites, safety of buildings, because we are doing such intense construction activity in close vicinity of the dilapidated buildings, heritage buildings. Muck disposal was an issue, environmental challenges, a lot of protest, misplaced activism, litigations, and of course media and public perception. But these challenges were addressed by following different means, very meticulous planning. Planning is very important. Then very, very transparent policies and processes, because people couldn't see what we are doing underground. So we, if you look at our social media handles, a lot of information is given along with pictures where exactly the project stand today. Competent team, then robust project management mechanism, clear roles and responsibilities, delegation of powers, engagement with experts, engagement with people, continuous dialogue, taking the litigation and legal cases very, very seriously, and ensuring that our side is properly represented to all courts, including Supreme Court of India, and getting all the orders in our favor. So these were, and of course, very effective use of social media, continuous engagement with all the stakeholders, better coordination, proactiveness, anticipation of problems and resolving them in advance. All those things were tried. And this is the project progress now. Our overall project is at 79.8%. With civil work, more than 90% civil work completed. Station construction also close to 90%. Tunneling 100% completed. System works, which has all electrical systems, signaling, telecommunication, platform screen door. So many other things are there in that. So these systems are also at 47%. Depot works also, though we started late, we have completed almost 53% of the works, and mainline track works are also 56% completed. Now, since we want to project, we have to overcome the delays which occurred in this project for various reasons, and at least make some section available for people. So we have divided it into two parts. Phase 1, which is RA to BKC, and BKC to Cup Parade. So RA to BKC, our progress is 85%, which we want to commission by this December, where station and tunnel works are almost completed. Finishing works are happening. System works are also 61% completed. Main track works are close to 75% completed. So here there are chances that we are actually poised to commission it by this December. And this is just a graphical presentation of where exactly the station-wise progress is for phase 1, for phase 2. Blue indicates civil works and orange indicates the system works. Then this is a graphical presentation of how our track works are progressing, so that it will start from here and up to BKC. So some track works are actually the work is happening there. That is why it is not fully red, but the work is happening there. And our idea is to complete all these activities, say some major activities by June, some more activities by October, and then start the service trials so that we get safety clearance and we can start the commissioning. This is a much more complex project than the coastal road project, though it looks big because it's a road project. So there are no interconnection or mixing of other systems are not there. Then this is our system works, which is a physical progress overall. You can see so many systems: rolling stock, that is train, power supply system, overhead contact system for traction supply, signaling, telecommunication. Then we have tunnel ventilation system. escalators, lifts, automatic fare collection system, then depot. So there are multiple systems, multiple vendors, multiple contractors, and each has to work in a sequential manner. If the civil work is not complete, the system work can't happen. Unless the MEP works are done, the other system contractors can't work. So we have used this 3D BIM technology very extensively so that the designing happens in advance in a proper way, clash detection and everything is solved before we actually start work on the ground. So all those project management strategies and mechanisms were effectively used. So depot is now progressing. And this is, I'll just flag this issue that we intend to, as on the request of Western Naval Command, we intend to extend this line up to Navy Nagar. And this will be roughly 1.5, 1.8 kilometer corridor. This is our Cup Parade station. So from it will be an underground, and our station will be here just before the TIFR campus starts. And these are 3-4 stabling lines will be here. And so that this area also gets connected and people get a proper connectivity through a very decent rail-based public transport network. And this is a strategic connectivity also for the very important and strategic installations like TIFR and naval base. So this is right now. So this request came to us in 2018, but a lot of deliberations happened whether it is really required, how we can carry out the work in such sensitive areas. And then finally, Government of Maharashtra has approved it in January 2020. Now we have appointed RITES as our consultant. DPR preparation, environmental impact assessment, SIA, everything is under preparation. All stakeholder discussion is also happening. And after that, the alignment will be fully finalized after taking into account everybody's concerns. And then the alignment will be finalized and we will move for approvals and funding arrangement and other things. So these are the latest project photographs. So we got our first train in August, 30th August. The second train also came in December. Now we are bringing the third train. In fact, these trains are ready. They are getting manufactured at Shri City in Andhra Pradesh. This is a French company, but the manufacturing under this startup, the Make in India campaign, it is happening in India. And these trains are there, but unfortunately we didn't have the depot. The depot work was stopped, so we couldn't bring them. But we worked out some interim arrangement and could get these trains. And the trains are under dynamic testing inside the tunnel now. And once the depot work is completed, then the depot test track will be used for testing of these trains. So this is our train. Then these are now what is happening beneath ground. From top, it looks like this. Below, this is the Cup Parade station. So almost all works are done. No finishing works like the stone rendering and other things and all system equipment. I mean, fixing the system conduits and equipment that is going on. So this is Vidhan Bhavan station. You can see last time I had shown you that this was the whole thing was excavated. Now the station is constructed from here to here. You can see the top slab. Now this will be filled up. And in fact, we are using this land. Government has given us, yesterday only we got an order that this land is now given to us. So we are going to construct buildings on top of it. So this will be commercially utilized. And we have to raise some funding also for the project as part of our project cost. But then there are different multiple entry exits here. So this whole area is going to get very nicely connected. So this is internal. You can see a lot of this system, the ventilation shafts, fire cable, so many other things are happening. And once they're done, then we have this kind of false ceiling. So this is just an indication of how things are happening there. So some of the roads which we had closed, we are giving them back. We are reinstating those roads. So this is one such road. Church Gate. So every station we have this kind of the stones were for paneling the walls. This is Hutatma Chowk. This was also very critical station because this is a NATM station, new Austrian tunneling method. We use that because Hutatma Chowk, the road is very narrow where we are constructing the station. On top of it, there are all heritage buildings, very old, very dilapidated. They look very nice from outside, but they are really in bad shape. And of course, there are reasons because there are multiple owners. Everybody has not taken care of that building. But we had the onus of keeping them safe. So we had to, because the road was narrow, we could get only one small box to go down. But after that, once we entered, we had to tunnel or excavate horizontally, and another tunnel of ours is beneath the building. So we had to connect these two tunnels by having horizontal passages, and this is how the station is constructed. So it looks different. This is a CST station. You can see a lot of finishing works happening, and now we have started filling up. So the whole land will be reinstated. These are, I mean, I can say nightmare only in Girgaon, Kalwa Devi and Grant Road. The way we are constructing the station, these are big case studies because again, a station length is normally 250 meters, width is roughly 25 meters. But we need to get that kind of station box. We got it here in, say, Kapparade and other places. But Girgaon, Kalwa Devi, we got only 2 small boxes to go inside. So again, going inside, then the tunnel has happened because TBM passed through beneath the buildings. But then we have to connect these 2 tunnels and create a platform. So for that, we can't cut open the ground and excavate from top. So we just had 2 small shafts, went inside and started tunneling horizontally. But that we had to do without disturbing any of the building which were above ground. And this was a big challenge. In one Girgaon station, the rock was very hard. In Kalwa Devi, the rock was very soft. So both had their own problems. And then we had to keep on changing the construction methodology. So this is the Netam tunnel which is done in Girgaon. So this is basically the original tunnel is by TBM, which is a smaller one. And then that is widened by excavating it further in a manual way because you can't use machine there. So there are different methodologies to use that. This is Mumbai Central, Grant Road, Mumbai Central. So most of the places, these are just examples, but many stations, almost all escalators are now put, lifts are installed, a lot of stonework has already happened, system works are much ahead. So this is Mahalakshmi. Here also you can see now we have started filling up the land and we'll open the roads soon. This is Siddhivinayak. Now on top, this whole area was dug out earlier. Now it is filled up. This is our amenity building. This is some entry exit. This is another entry exit. Then on this side also there is an entry exit. So and beneath that there is a station. So it is like this. This is Shitla Devi. Shitla Devi was also a very difficult. This is also NATM station. When stations are NATM, you can see the platforms are different than this. Because this existing tunnel which is made by TBM, tunnel boring machine, that is widened. So it has a particular shape. So here in Dharavi, we have almost done with the station and the road reinstatement work is happening. This is BKC. This is almost double the size of the normal station. Here also the station box is all completed. Finishing works are happening and now we are trying to reinstate the road. This is BKC amenity building. This is Vidyanagari station. So lot of this is the substation activity. So many things are there inside the station. You have to complete. And underground station, everything is different because you have to close the station box also. And everything needs to be taken inside before we close the station box. If you don't close the station box, some of our rooms don't get completed because beneath that there are service rooms. So it's a very complex thing. So you have to plan much in advance, ensure that every material, every part of whatever equipment which is required for the station goes inside in time, and then the station box is completed. This is Santa Cruz. This is Airport Terminal 1. This is Netam subway, because airport terminal is on one side of the road. Then there is entire highway, Western Express highway. So we have to provide a connectivity to the other side from where people can come to the station. Otherwise, they can't cross the road. So this tunnel was done in a Netam way. So just we kept on excavating it horizontally without disturbing the traffic on Western Express highway. So this is how we have done. This is just an example. This is a Tansa pipeline, which we had to support because this whole area was dug up. Now we have completed and we had to support that because this couldn't be shifted anywhere. So this whole steel work itself, the support work itself is heavier than a normal construction site. And now this is filled up and now we will fill, and these pipelines will be buried in that filling material. This is a crossover where Sahar, the trains could turn. Because every 10 kilometer we have a crossover. So from some train starts from 5 to 10 kilometers. So trains can take a turn. So if sometimes we have to have a shorter runs or sometimes there is a disturbance on line ahead, then we have to take, the trains should also take a U-turn. So for that we have to have this crossover. So here the train tracks will cross so that train can take a U-turn. Otherwise, every time it will have to come to the terminal station. So to avoid that, this has been planned. So there is a crossover at Saha, there is a crossover at BKC, there is a crossover at Worli Acharya Atre Chowk, then at CSMT, Azad Maidan station, and then of course at Cup Parade. So there are 5 different crossovers. So this is again this term. You can see this how the station is built. Now why it is so beneath, so below? Because this whole here on top of it, airport operator is going to construct their commercial buildings. So they need at least 3 to 4 levels for their basement. So on above this station, the basement would come, and above that they will have their commercial buildings, and this will be very nicely integrated to give a proper connectivity to airport and proper dispersal for their commercial activity. So people can go purely for to access that commercial building or to airport. So it involves multiple stakeholders. Now we had planned with the initial airport operator, GVK. Then all the designs were approved by them because they had their plans ready. Everything was done. By the time we completed our station box, the airport operator changed. So they started some different planning, but of course they had to accommodate what we have done so far. But it involves multiple engagements at different times with various stakeholders. This is Marol Naka. This is also an ATM station because here line 1 goes like this from here. It is perpendicular, and the station box is crossing that line 1. Now, underneath, when we are to build a station, we can't cut open the whole area. So we cut this part, and we did another cut some box on the other side of the line, metro line 1, and in between areas were connected to each other by using NATM methodology. So this is Marol Naka. These are platform screen doors, which I was mentioning. So the tunnel is that way not visible. It is very, very safe. These are lifts, information desks. So this is the TBMs which I had showed you in this. This is a complete, you can see the completed tunnel where a lot of conduits, the OCS is done. Then track is also laid. Utility corridors are there. This is how the track bed is seen. The tracks are already laid. And this is what we are doing in last, this government vacated the stay. And in last 4 or 5 months after re-engaging the same contractor, which we had to follow that process, that work was stopped for 2.5 years, 3 years almost. So now after starting also, we could finish a lot of things here now. There are almost 900 laborers which are working there, and it is being daily monitored. So the depot work is also happening very fast, and we have to use this depot for our stage 1 commissioning. So we are using it in a phased manner. The depot has operation control center, but that may not be ready for the stage 1 commissioning. So we have a backup center at BKC station, which we will use. But what else is required for the phase 1 commissioning, that will be ready in the depot. So that change in planning also we had to do. So what exactly metro does? Now, I don't know how many of you live on the Western Line, but since MMRDA's 2 corridors are commissioned fully, like Metro Line 2A from the Hisar to Andheri on western side of the railway track, and Line 7, which is also the Hisar to Andheri, but on the eastern side of railway track, that is parallel to railway as well as Western Express Highway. They have fetched almost 105,000 passengers per day, even in the initial phase, which itself shows the pent-up demand in the city and people's appreciation, aspiration for having a better and more efficient public transport. And it has also resulted in visibly, though actual figures are not known yet, MMRDA will conduct that study after allowing this metro to operationalize for some few more months. But visibly, the traffic has gone down on those roads. The traffic scenario is much better. It is improved on both New Link Road, SV Road, as well as Western Express Highway and in between roads. And similarly, congestion in suburban rail also has gone down. And this is just a indication that there was a 50% drop in car sales in Mumbai for Gudi Padwa. I don't know whether it is directly linked to this, but this again shows the aspiration that first of all, people don't trust whether these kinds of projects which are talked about so much, they drag for decades and they don't actually get commissioned and the benefits are not reaped. But these 2 projects, 2 metro lines which were commissioned, because they also started in 2016 and in 2022 they started commissioning in a phased manner, and they have really shown what kind of benefit metro projects can bring to a city, congested city like Mumbai. And that is how Metro Line 3, that is the kind of impact Metro Line 3 is also going to have. There 1 lakh passengers, even we start with 5-6 lakh passengers for Metro Line 3, that is going to make a huge impact, because it has the 70,000 PHPDT. It is designed for that. So it has the ultimate capacity of traveling 17 lakh passengers per day. So with how much impact it would bring to Mumbai's traffic, you can imagine. And this is my last slide, which shows how the future transport scenario would be there in Mumbai. This is part of a comprehensive transport study which MMRDA got done in 2022. So this shows that how the rail-based mass rapid transit system is actually going to solve Mumbai's problems. And suburban rail played the same role in many years back. But today it is oversaturated, it is overcrowded, and it is carrying almost 8 million passengers per day, 81 lakh passengers. If you look at 2000 scenario here, 81 lakh passengers, which is far beyond its capacity. They are traveling on that system because people don't have any other option. And if you see the modal share, total 1 crore 88 lakh trips happen in Mumbai every day on different modes. So out of that, 43% modal share is of suburban rail system. That time in 2007, only Metro Line 1 was functional and mono rail also partially functioning. So there the passengers, they had 4.1 lakh commuters only. Bus system still carried 37 lakh passengers, and motorized transport 65 lakh passengers. So just next to suburban system. This is how the modal share in 2017. And if you look at 2031, with the completion of metro corridor, there is a possibility of a huge jump of in the modal share of metro and mono system. So from 4 lakh passengers, they would carry almost 83 lakh passengers. So the share would jump from 2.2% to 35.3%. And if you see the suburban rail system, the share would go down. Because it is needed. Because they are carrying far more passengers than what they can carry. And that is why the quality of travel is poor. The safety, there is compromise on safety, there is compromise on comfort, and they can't help because they have already expanded their capacity in whatever way possible. But people still use these travels. So if you give them alternate mode of transport, people will switch from here. Similarly, even in buses, because buses share would go down, passengers would also go down. What is the reason? Because for metro, distance between suburban trail distance between 2 stations is 3 to 5 kilometers. So for last mile connectivity, people conventionally have been using BEST buses. But now in metro, every 1 kilometer there is a station. So your problem of last mile connectivity could be solved easily by taking trips on foot. You may not need. So they may have to reorient themselves to achieve a different kind of last mile connectivity. Maybe the bus sizes may have to be reduced. A lot of other things would happen. This will go down. And in 2041, if you see, almost 11 million passengers would travel in metro mono. So that is the additional capacity we'll create. So upon 1 crore 88 lakh trips to 2.70 trips. 70 crore trips in 2041. Even in 2031 itself, 2.37 trips. So that is the additional capacity we are creating through these corridors without expanding the land, without expanding the area. And this is on, once this is done, and with coastal road, both coastal road getting completed, MTHL getting completed, Worli Shivdi connector which goes to MTHL, I think Mumbai will be really placed on a very comfortable kind of scenario on the global map. We can compete with any other city. Mumbai is today a lot of people complain that Mumbai is so it's a magnet still, but still people crib a lot and complain a lot about the quality of life, about, and which is mainly defined by the poor quality of commute. So if we can address that problem, Mumbai will again be a very, very attractive destination. The life of Mumbaikars will improve substantially when we provide this more efficient, safer, more comfortable and reliable kind of transport. And this is not a dream now. This is a reality and this is going to happen, and it has started happening, and I'm very happy to be part of that whole process. So we had challenges, but now our challenges have reduced substantially because people have tested the blood now. They have seen one metro corridor happening, and now everybody wants these metros and the construction projects to be completed faster. And government and all the implementing agencies are mindful of that, and with more sensitivity, with more people-friendly manner, they are trying to implement these projects. Fortunately, technology is helping us. Lot of expertise across the globe is involved in this whole process. Our own people are also getting trained. Lot of manufacturing is happening in India, and this is, I think, all these projects are a game changer. And I was very happy to present before you two of these projects from these game changing projects. Thank you so much for listening to me very patiently. And thank you.
Almost no words to say. Two major projects which are, I think, amounting it to about 50,000 crores. There's one person who is been kind of spearheading. He's stood up here talking for more than an hour and a half and pinned off silence in the audience. It really tells you what we are really looking for. And well, this is what one calls as hearing from lion's mouth, probably. And unfortunately, I know many of you want to probably have lots of questions, but I request all of you, because it's already like 5:40 almost. I request you to interact with the speaker or a cup of tea in the cafeteria. So thank you once again, ma'am. That has been probably one of the wonderful way to celebrate 40 years of asset. And thank you once again very much for taking your time and coming here. And I think you should all stand up and give a standing ovation. I think as Srirut mentioned, she and our team is probably changing the landscape of the city which we love really well. And you can really see the projection, the way it's done. Everything is by example, everything, not a single thing is floated, not a single, environment or any other factors compromise. And that is how what one means by a project management. And absolutely top class, ma'am. It's really no words for really thanking you. Thank you once again.
I just want to mention and thank my team here, because I may be presenting here as one person, but the whole, all these efforts and whatever is done is possible because of a very wonderful team which I have. And they are our in-house team members, our consultants, contractors, designers. There are so many people involved. A lot of expertise has gone into it, and they have done this work in a very fabulous manner. So I need to thank them also and mention their contribution in this project. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just stop both. YouTube as well as